Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. Today we're talking about a brand new signing, and that brand new signing is Adam Reach, signing on a free transfer following the expiration of his contract at Sheffield Wednesday. We're going to be going all into the details of that transfer and also all the details into Adam Reach. What can we expect from him at the Hawthorns and what sort of a role is he going to play this season? We're going to go through all of that in today's video. But make sure, if you're new around here, to subscribe to the channel. We've just hit 500 subscribers, and that's a solid 5 days before I thought you were going to hit it. I said by the start of next season, which is in a week's time, I think, in 5 days' time or so. And you guys have smashed it before then, well earlier than expected. So thank you very much for subscribing. But if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe. There's plenty more content on the way, more like this. And there's also some match day vlogs coming, podcasts, all of that jazz, special guests, player interviews, all that stuff. Everything Albion will be on this channel. So make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and comment down below what you think of the Adam Reach transfer. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But let's get in and take a deep dive into the Adam Reach transfer. Adam Reach may not be the sort of person who's going to be your flagship signing for the new season, but he certainly does add a bit of squad depth for Albion this season. Let's talk a little bit about what we can expect to see from Adam Reach this season. So the deal has been done. West Bromwich Albion have made winger Adam Reach their third senior signing of the summer. The 28-year-old, he is 28, who has left Sheffield Wednesday at the end of last season when his contract expires, has signed a 3-year deal at the Hawthorns, which is decent. So I think that's a good move, in my opinion. Free. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. The last left footer we signed from Sheffield Wednesday, who could play left back, centre mid, and left midfield, was Chris Brunt. So, and probably the only other one, to be honest. But Adam Reach, he's been signed on a no-fee contract. You know, it's not cost us anything to sign him. It's not cost us anything to bring him in, apart from his wages and probably a signing-on bonus or something along those lines. So it is a good signing in that respect. I think a lot of people, are expecting bigger things from the Albion, and I don't think that's going to come until Matheus Pereira or Sam Johnston leaves. But I think it's one that it's just gonna fill a nice little gap on the bench. It's going to be one of those that's going to put less pressure on our young players to succeed and relieve a lot of that pressure, which will probably make our young players perform a little bit better. But yeah, I think obviously he's seen that we've got a bit of ambition, and he's seen that we're likely to do pretty well. I think that's something that we need to focus on is the fact that he's not really going to come in and start. I think a lot of people are expecting starting players to come in, when actually I don't think that's really the problem. I don't think that the problem is the starting players. I think the starting 11 is more than good enough to play it at this level. I think what's the problem is the depth on the bench. On the bench, I think there's a bit of a few little gaps, especially in that friendly game against Burnley, where there were some gaps where you thought academy players are going to have to fill in there. And of course, you want academy players, you want the young players coming through, but you don't want the onus on them to be that they have to play some games because somebody's tired or somebody's injured. You don't want to put that pressure to say you have to play. Sometimes it can't be helped, but when you can help it, let them come on when they've got the chance, when they're under less pressure, and they can sort of ease their way into the professional experience. And I think Adam Reach is going to slightly help with that. I think we signed him because we're short of cover, to be honest, after the first 11. And Reach is an experienced Championship performer. I mean, he was available on a free transfer, so we're not going to complain about that, to be honest. But I think there's a bit of experience in there. I think he's made over 300 second-tier appearances, so that's more experience to go into an already experienced Championship side. Obviously, a lot of players are going to be looking to play. They're going to be looking to play in the the Championship for Valérien Ismaël. I know he's not the biggest name, Valérien Ismaël. I know he's perhaps not your Frank Lampard, who's going to bring in loads of loan signings, or I don't know, somebody like John Terry, who's going to bring in loads of loan signings, was a bit linked with us. So it's not really that. It's not that particular. It's not that that sort of thing. It's one of those that you can look at and say, well, Valérien Ismaël building something nice. He's not a massive name, but we know and we can trust that he's going to do something good if I go to his club. So I think to bring him in, I think he's going to probably play. I think he's probably going to play at left wing back, to be honest, in the 3-4-3. Obviously, Connor Townsend occupies the starting spot there, and I assume this will not make any difference to Connor Townsend's starting spot. I think, I think it's one of those things that we just have to keep thinking that Connor Townsend's going to be the starter. But if he gets injured, if he gets if he runs out of fitness, tiredness in the week, obviously Championship sometimes you can play 3 games within the space of a week, which is not something you want young players doing. Connor Townsend obviously coming in with a bit more experience this time after having 2 Championship seasons under his belt with West Brom. But I think Reach will provide a good little bit of cover. Maybe he could even fill in on the left of that front 3, maybe in the central midfield role. He's a very good left-footed player, and he's going to do a decent job on a cover. So, in terms of that, I think he'll be a good signing there. He's previously played for Middlesbrough. He's played in that. He's also played for Shrewsbury Town, Bradford City on loan from Middlesbrough. He's obviously played for Preston as well in the 2nd tier. And helping them establish in the Championship. Then Sheffield Wednesday, where he's been for about 5 years now. So that's pretty nice. He's played quite a lot of games for Sheffield Wednesday, which is 231 appearances, which is quite a lot for him. He's netted 24 goals in his time there and 34 assists. I mean, from what I've gained from Sheffield Wednesday fans, he's not really a tough tackling, centre midfielder. He's not really going to be right in the middle of your busy areas, your action zones and whatnot. He is a player who's a bit of a creative force, a bit of a neat passer, a bit of an interesting player in that sort of respect. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the club. He's not going to start, as we've mentioned. He's not going to be that person who's going to start in that position, but he scores screamers. Let's be honest. I mean, yeah, he's not really that sort of person who's going to score screamers. He's not going to be that sort of person who's battling away, going to be in the midfield, kicking people up in the air. He is a player that's very good on the ball, and he does score some screamers. He's got a lovely left foot, and there's plenty of positions that he can fill in. I think it's a no-brainer. I know a lot of Albion fans have been complaining, saying, yeah, Adam Reach, it's just a cheap option. Yes, he is cheap, but we are in need of desperate squad depth. If I just take a look at the Birmingham lineup, which may take me just a minute to get up, so I'll just talk away at you whilst I'm doing so. But there wasn't much squad depth on the bench. There wasn't a lot of players on the bench that, for me, I know there was isolation issues with Matt Phillips. I know that Alex Palmer wasn't available. I know that Kevin Castro. So there is a bit of a gap. But if the bench was Ted Can, who is our under-23s keeper, you've got Zach Ashworth there, Simi Ajayi, Cedric Kipre, Caleb Taylor, Ethan Ingram, Romain Sawyers, Tulloch and Zahor. I think out of Championship experience, you've got Ajayi, Kipre, Sawyers, Zahor. Yes, you've got Snodgrass to come back into the side, and yes, you've got Phillips available to come back into the side when his isolation finished. And obviously, you've got Alex Palmer, who's going to come and probably be a number 2 goalkeeper for a large part of the season. You do think, where's the Championship experience on that bench? And you do worry where it's going to come from, in my opinion. I do worry a little bit about where the Championship experience is going to come from. So Adam Reach is only going to help that. I don't think it's going to do us any harm having him on the side. He played a vital role for Sheffield Wednesday throughout his time there, and of course he's one of those players that it's going to be very helpful. I think we're unlikely to commit to spending lots of transfer fees until we sell one of Pereira or Johnson. Obviously Pereira is a different issue in itself, and hopefully I'm going to do a video on that very soon on the bit of that. But I think there's still cover needed for people like Darnell Furlong and even Alex Mauer and Jake Livermore in the midfield. And there's cover needed on the right-hand side and then in the centre of midfield. Apart from that, I think you've got all that you really need, apart from a striker up front, of course. But I don't think that's going to come in until the fees come in for Johnston or Pereira. I don't think that's going to happen at all. But for now, I think Reach is a very sensible signing. I don't think anybody else is going to really. I know people are going to, whinge, say he's free, but he will be a good signing for us. He relieves a lot of pressure on those young players to succeed. I think that it needs to happen like this, or else it's just you need to get in these experienced players, or you're not going to be able to succeed in the Championship. Succeeding in the Championship is about having that strong backbone of players that are going to switch in. They can switch in when the going gets tough, when players pick up injuries, when players get tired, and it's only going to help to have more of those in the side. And I'm sure there'll be more where that came from with Valérien Ismaël. Although he may not have the biggest pulling power in terms of his ability or maybe his experience as manager, he will be able to bring in those players that are going to desperately improve the side. And I think Reach only does that. It's a free transfer, probably not on a lot per week, 3-year deal, it's not really an issue. I think he's going to prove to be a very good cover signing in and around the squad as well. Championship experience, you can't complain with that. He's only 28 as well. So I'm very happy with the Reach signing. I'm going to give it a C because he's not going to start, but then again, it's not a D or an E. Or, maybe if I was going to give it a grade, but maybe if it'd probably be a 6 or 7 out of 10. I don't think it's any more than that. I think a 6 would probably be fair for Adam Reach. He's not going to start, but he's going to provide some vital cover. Therefore, I think he's a good signing. But that does bring me to the end of this video, all about our new signing, Adam Reach. If you want to hear more from the Baggies podcast, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here on YouTube. If you want to go and follow us on Twitter to get involved in the videos, follow us on Instagram at the Baggies Podcast, at the Baggies Pod on Twitter. And listen to all of our other episodes. There's plenty more. There's a season preview for you to listen to. And there's all that jazz over in our link tree, which is in the description. But also, comment your thoughts on the Adam Reach transfer. Are you happy with it? Do you think it's a good move? I'd love to hear it. But anyway, that does bring me to the end of this video. All about Adam Reach. I can't wait to see what he brings to the club. And I'm sure you guys can't too. And I'll see you in the next video, Baggies fans. Goodbye.